Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, and we're going to play for about 45 minutes or so on GG Poker's 25NL 6 max tables. I've only just started playing and we've already won approximately 150 big blinds, and we didn't capture either of them, which is really quite annoying. Unsurprisingly, I won two big pots, both with over pairs. I think we had aces up here and we stacked a short stacker, and we had kings here and we stacked this guy on Jack XX. They're both pretty standard spots, but would have been nice to capture them on video because they might be the two most exciting hands of the session, and we missed them both. Why am I playing a session on GG? Well, this is mostly just for my YouTube content. I don't want to just always be doing hand reviews from the app club I'm involved with on YouTube. Whereas I think some people like those videos, they don't necessarily do very well. And I don't just want my YouTube to be a avenue for spamming games, even though the games are very good and I think the games are very and the videos are interesting enough. I also want to do more of this type of thing as well. And I also want to play a little bit more on sites outside of the app to stop my game getting too sloppy. King 7 here versus a 3x. Probably call, but not excited. Yeah, I think when you're playing like uber soft games all the time, it's very easy to just get that little bit sloppy, lose your sharpness, lose like your sense of I don't know what the correct word is, but basically it's easy to get quite shit quite quickly when you're exclusively playing against non-thinking, non-reg players. So doing this just helps keep me on the sharper side. Just going to fold the king 10 here. A strategy I've started employing in the app games is basically the Doug Polk or Upswing Poker post-flop game plan from about fucking Christ knows how long ago now. Maybe that course is 8 years old. I don't know. And even though that's not a particularly advanced strategy, I think it's really, really effective in those games. And crucially, it's really fucking easy to execute. And I think having like a relatively simple strategy that's really easy to execute in super soft games versus players with super wide ranges and super wide stack depths might actually be the best strategy to go with in order to achieve some level of consistency with my thought processes and with the lines I take. So this video is mostly going to be referencing that particular course. And if you are watching this video and you are a beginner or an intermediate player and you've never seen the Doug Polk post-flop playbook or whatever it's called these days, do go to Upswing Poker, find it. It costs $7, and it is a remarkably good course for the cost. And if you do struggle post-flop with organizing your thoughts, this will really help you. If you've gone down the fucking GTO, MDA, everything else rabbit hole and got yourself completely fucked up, like I have in the past, it's a really good tool to reset your thinking. It will keep you safe at micro stakes. It will probably help you more than it hurts you at micro stakes. It's probably more useful than trying to execute more complex strategies at micro stakes. And we're going to reference that for the rest of this video when I stop waffling. So here we have a category 3 hand in the playbook. And it's not a value hand. It's too weak to check back for showdown value. But it's a draw, so it's not completely worthless. So it's a category 3 hand, which is a semi-bluffs. Category 1 is value. Category 2 is showdown value type hands that don't need to too thin to value bet, too strong to bluff with. Category 3 is our bluffs. They're usually going to be equity driven. And category 4 is just our kind of like trash hands that don't really have much hope of winning. So on the flop and turns, we choose our bets from category 1 value and category 3 semi bluffs, and that's on flop and turns. And on rivers, our bets come from our category 1 hands and then our category 4 hands, some of which have come from categories 2 and 3 on the earlier streets. That's pretty much the basic principle. You're going to choose when you get to obviously there's no category 3 on the river because there's no more semi bluffs available. So a lot of our semi bluffs then go into category 4, but they might not be the best hands to bluff with. And some of the hands we've previously chosen to just give up with, they might then become some of our bluffs on rivers. So I'll try my best to explain my thoughts as we go through the video because this is a strategy I'm very keen to rehome for my games in the app clubs, where even though the games are incredibly soft, they can be a complete mindfuck due to this weird, wonderful wide ranges people play and the fact that it's a lot of multi-way involved. And that multi-way is hard, even versus like really bad players. Multi-way is just hard. So having some basic rules in place to stop yourself getting completely lost is a very good thing. So pre-flop, this is a category 3 hand in terms of like a semi-bluff hand. So we are going to 3-bet. If we get 4-bet, depending on size, our hand probably goes into category 4, which is just like trash that wants to fold. I mean, what is this fucking min 3-bet? I'm just going to fucking run it versus some idiot buying for 20 bigs. A call. Shock. Min 3-bet was aces. We've been 4-bet here by somebody rocking a 16 VPIP. Easiest fold in the world. I mean, is this guy just a fucking nit? 18-9. I mean, I'm glad I don't have to grind these sites anymore. Even though I think reg tables on GG are pretty good in general, when you see what I play against on a daily basis, you realise these games really are fucking awful. To use a line I used last night in one of our Discord chats, these games are more toxic than a used Tampax from Jade Goody. That is a very bad taste joke. If you don't like it, I don't give a fuck. Just for the record. This channel's probably not for you, and I'm certainly not for you. Queen 9 off versus min from under the gun. I guess we just call. Our hand here is very category 4. It's going to be check fold. Picking up the queens on the top left table. 6-4 suited here versus this position. I'm just going to call. I don't mind throwing this type of hand occasionally. In fact, we are going to throw it into a 3-bet range. Like call with a 6-5 suited, 3-bet the gap stuff. We've got a 4x open and a call here. We're going to make a very large 3-bet from the big blind to 20. We take it down, but we're not too disappointed. 3-betting the pocket jacks, bottom right. Getting called and getting a thoroughly miserable flop. Our hand here is very category 2. It's not category 3, so we can't bet. We just check, even though theoretically this is a range bet, etc., etc., etc. I'm just sticking very much to the game plan. Continuing to check here because our hand is still just a category 2. How up in our category 2 range is it? Then we have basically it's very high up in our category 2 range. We have pocket kings, the only better category 2 hand we're checking here. Again, we're still category 2, we're still checking. We're probably going to call versus this line. Let's just check down. He just doesn't even try to bluff with pocket 3s. And, we'll take that. We weren't put under any pressure with that incredibly capped range. Nothing much happening. Extended periods of silence. I guess I refer back to the post-op playbook. I'm sure there's lots of you who've literally never heard of that course. I think there's some gems from the past in poker, that in the poker history, that a lot of players who've picked up the game in the last 2 to 5 years will not have heard of. This would be one of them. Another one would be the mental game of poker. A fantastic book. I still don't think it's been bettered in terms of talking about poker mental game. And I think it doesn't just improve your poker mental game skills. I genuinely think it improves your life skills. You can extrapolate a lot of the teachings of that book into life skills. So if you are relatively new to poker and you haven't heard of either of those things, do yourself a favor, spend a little bit of money on both, then come back and thank me when you've devoured both pieces of content. And I guarantee you will come back and thank me, because there's 0% chance both of those things will not improve your overall game. Opening the 9-7 here. We have a category 2 hand on the flop, so we're calling if we get donked into, we're checking if we get checked to. If he checks again, our hand could almost become category 1. He bets big, it's a polarized bet. He's kind of saying he's got a very strong hand or very weak hand. This is one of our stronger category 2 hands. It's second pair. We have stronger kickers with our 9. We also have maybe some weak jack X, but we definitely call the turn. And then probably fold river versus big bet. Maybe call versus smaller bets. We're not high in our category 2 range here. He gives us a chance to check back, and we're going to take it. And he just had a bluff that he gave up on. I don't love opening medium pocket, small to medium pocket pairs in the micro stakes nitty environment where there's not that much calling pre. There's like people who spin 3-bet fold, but their 3-betting ranges are too tight. I don't love them, to be honest, but I still open them. Our hand here is probably category 3, and we don't have a lot of showdown value, but we also have better bluffs to choose from, so I'm just going to check back. We get led into on the turn. This is not a category 2 hand. Just nowhere near. Well, it is category 2 in terms of it has a little bit of showdown value, but it's way too low down. So we're just going to fold it. Three bet here. Trivial fold with the 10-9-0. I call the pocket fives versus the small blind. In the small blind versus the other position open. Checking range. We want to three bet the queen nine. Don't think so. I think versus big bets here, we're going to fold the fives versus small bets, we're going to call. Turn king. I expect to see a lot of like very big bets and checks here from my opponent. He goes with this, which I don't think is a size that the machine would use here very often. This like 75% pot size. But it's a double barrel, and we just have two fives. We're just going to fold. Here with the 7-6 suited, we have better draws to bet here, like 10-8, maybe Queen 10, but we are just going to start with the bet. This is definitely like one of our weaker category 3 hands, but it can improve like it has here. And now I'm going to go with an overbet on this turn card, pick up some equity, fold out some ace high floats, king high floats, pocket pairs that floated, etc. And we win the pot with 7 high, which is always nice. Keep my eye on the clock. I've probably got another half an hour. And actually, we've got a wild looking play up here 54-33. We have 2 9s in the small blind. Do I want to get 75 bigs in pre with pocket 9s? Probably not. Just going to call and then play some post flop. Easy check. Probably calling versus more sizes. Definitely calling versus half pot. Turn is starting to get a bit dicey. Just trying to think what my range looks like here. Pocket 10 is probably top. Maybe some like Jack 10, Jack 9 suited type stuff. So depending on size, will depend on whether we call or fold this turn. The bigger he goes, the higher I'm going to need to be in my category 2 range. On this river, we don't have a value bet. We have a check again, and then probably just check fold. I just don't think this size is a bluff very often. The broken line, but the river's like uncaps him again. He's kind of capped, then the river uncaps him again, and then he goes with a pot size bet. I'm just going to fold. There's some data points there that make me want to call, and then there's some that make me want to fold. And the pot size river bet on a card that uncaps somebody is the one I'm going to use to most inform my decision. Multi-way here. We have a very bad hand. But definitely like not category 1 or 2. Is that, do we have any better semi bluffs here? Maybe not, because maybe we can just bet and then sometimes make ace high fold at some point. And we can barrel turn 10s, turn jacks, turn queens, turn kings, etc. When we get called in 2 spots, I'm less inclined to barrel. but surely a 9 raises the flop at some decent frequency. Okay, I'm going to barrel a turn. Not going to go huge because it's multi-way. No reason to have over bets here. And we do take it down. Happy days. Happy days. Queen Jack off. And not going to open that from this position, from the hijack or whatever it's called in. Low jack, sorry. Hijack, low jack, fuck knows. Maybe we should have been open and then a small 3-bet. We're going to call 4-bet this. Probably have to call it off versus this stack and fold versus this stack. Take it down, which we'd love to see. Queen 6 suited, we're going to defend. King Jack off. Now we're going to 3-bet this hand on the button. No, I don't think so. It's just too weak. Just check folding the Queen 6. Slammed on category 4. Easy check fold. Two King Queens here. I think we're going to 3-bet this one on the button. King Queen off versus small blind. I think we're going to call versus a Russian. Completely whiff. Our hand is pretty much category 4 here. If he goes small low, I might turn it into a category 3 because this is the kind of board where, yeah, you want to see more bigger bets and then checks. It's going to fold versus the half pot. Pocket threes. I love me a set, man. I'm just going to do it. I mean, theoretically, it might be bad. Genuinely don't fucking care. Flop a set. Happy days. Just giving up with the A7 multi-way. He bets half pot here. I have no idea what size he should be using on this board. But we have a category 1 hand, so we're just going to raise, and we're going to raise quite big. We have a value hand here now on the river with that A7. So we're going to thin value bet. And it's better than a bluff catcher here. Take it down with this set, which is unfortunate. We'd preferred a bit more action, but it is what it is. Picking up the aces, top left. This is where if I had good video editing skills, I would have some sort of like fucking flashing red light and added sound effects, but I don't, so We didn't get that. And on top of that, we got a walk, which is incredibly disappointing. Jackpot suited is going to be a fold. King 5 suited is going to be a defend. Completely break. We do have some back doors. Don't think this is going to find its way into a check raise though, multi-way. Although this 1/3 bet in position is making me consider it. This player had more chips. I don't think he's capped multi-way. I'm just going to fold. If he had more chips, I might consider it a little bit. This just shouldn't be a value hand from this player. And we could have maybe got a check raise through there. But never mind. My rate needs charging. Queen 10 suited versus fuck it, doesn't matter. Just going to 3-bet. It's a little bit loose, but doesn't matter. This player looks like a recreational player. We want to try and get heads up in position versus those as often as possible with playable hands, and we can't flat from this position, so I'm not folding it. So it only leaves 3-bet, doesn't it? We face the 4-bet, and we have an easy fold. Ooh, flop would have been spicy. These games actually look pretty soft for like mainstream site online games, plenty of Asian players not playing full stacks. Here we have a crystal clear category 2 hand on the top left table. We still have a crystal clear category 2 hand. You can have some bluffs here around a single spade type holding. Nothing to do but call. And probably call river. I think a jack bets a flop at a pretty high frequency. Don't think an 8 should be betting, so I think this is about as bricky as it gets. I think we have a check call. Just gives up. So you see a lot of these players with like 22 V pips, etc. Do I want to 3-bet this hand? Tens. I think I'm just going to flat the button. So they're pretty tight V pips, but they're still fish. I mean, this guy 24 V pip, not playing a full stack. He's just going to be a fish. Here with the tens against an aggressive Russian, I'm just going to back raise shove and run it. Oh fuck me! I just realised how deep we are. Right, we're not shoving anymore. That's off the agenda. And at this depth, we're not folding. And now it could get messy. 10 seer versus a small blind 3-bet. Here we have an easy call. Here we have a call. Where's all our fucking sets at? We're not making a set on either board. He's going to barrel this at an incredibly high frequency, I would imagine. He doesn't. He checks. I'm going to check back, and then we're going to try and make like jacks, queens, and kings fold on the river. He bets small here. I think he's going to have. Yeah, I think this is like kings, queens, jacks at a remarkably high frequency. Do I think people bluff for this size? No, not very often. I mean, we could just call because we're getting ridiculous odds. I don't know if we want to raise here. What can we credibly represent? Our hand's just a category 2. We're just going to pay off kings, aren't we? That's what we're going to do. Yep. Just going to pay off kings. Maybe we could have bluffed there. Just don't think it's very credible. Like call pre, call flop, check back turn. Then we want to raise the river. And what straights do we really have there? Pocket fives exactly, or whatever pocket pair made the straight. That's about it. Jack 10 suited. This guy looks like a Nate one, not going to 3-bet a Nate with Jack 10 suited. Here our hand is borderline category 2. Here we just call with our Jack 10. It's a pot size bet here, which whatever. Easy fold. This guy double barrels here on the smaller side. I think I might start raising with my Jack 10. He goes to the over bet. Just folding versus the nit. Versus the nit, I think we just fold. We are in category 2, and it's easy for them just to find like over bets with this fucking Russian dude's getting right on my fucking nerves, for the record. Nothing we can do with the 9-8 suited though. Easy call with the Queen Jack suited here. We flop a category 3 hand. Here we get donked into. 2 overs, backdoor flush draw, we are always calling. Here on the 10-9-6 board, I think we're just going to have a little bet, and we're going to bet small. Here we have an easy fold on the turn. This guy goes to the check raise here. We're just going to be all in as fuck. Turn, we pick up some showdown value. And I think he's uncapped here. I think he will have some like checks with aces, kings, etc. We're just going to check back our hand. It's very, very category 2 now. I'm probably calling rivers. This fucker's 3-bet me again. I'm going to 4-bet the ace 10. Are we? I think so. And here we have a trivial call. And he had Jack 9. Amazing. I'm going to 3-bet, 4-bet bluff, sorry, with the king, queen. Get it through. Get rid of all these red tags, etc. I only tag fish these days. I've been 3-bet more in this session than I might get 3-bet in a week in my usual games. Three-bet in aces, bottom left. Get the snap folds. Three-bet and not folding the ace queen. Versus Russia, just not doing it. I think you probably need to game select still at 25 and L. I've got a friend, Tommy. He shared a message he got from GG with me last week. He basically got warned off for what they call bum hunting, or anyone else calls game selecting. GG really are a fucking piece of work of a site. They just don't want winning players. They are pretty much a bunch of cunts, to be honest with you, but it's probably the best place to play in terms of like traffic and liquidity. But they just don't want people to fucking win. They don't want old school poker skills to win. And game selection always has been and should always be a major part of any reg's armory. But then they just send emails out to people who game select well. It's fucking disgusting, to be honest. They really are a piece of shit of a site. But sadly, they've basically cornered the fucking market, and poker stars are a shadow of what they used to be, sadly. ACR just got so many fucking scandals. Can't go near that. Ignition's a joke. Triple Eight, fucking Rick's egregious. There just really aren't many good options out there in terms of like companies that I want to fucking pay my rate to. They just aren't, sadly. In 3-bet here. I'm actually just going to call this. We're going to range bet this 8-7 suited. Easy call versus 1/3 here. Beautiful turn card. He starts checking. We're giving up now with the 8-7. It's going to bet small on this turn. Maybe you can go a quarter. Then we're just going to jam rivers. Giving up completely here with the 8-7. Chopping it up. That river's disgusting. I no longer want to jam. I do want to get value from hands like queens and jacks, etc. I'm just going to bet half pot and be really, really sad when we get jammed on because we have to fold because we don't beat anything. And we take it down. You hold with the fives. I think if you were to game select on GG without it looking too aggressive, my advice would be just search and join tables with very few Russians, Ukrainians, Eastern Europeans. Just like join the tables with the Asian players. Like get on waiting lists with lots of Asian players there, and like avoid the tables with the Russians, the Poles, the Ukrainians, because that's where you're going to come across the toughest players. That would probably be the way to do it. That makes you less likely to get picked up, rather than like targeting specific players from the lobby. Just target specific regions of the world. Now this queen here is just a super standard check back. Very easy ball versus large term probe. Now, if I was forced to play on GG daily, that would be my strategy. I'd just be in the lobby, joining waiting lists for players for tables that had like one or fewer Eastern European players, or just Euros in general. Euros are just like easily the strongest players in the world, in my opinion. Overall, of course, there's going to be some weak European players, but typically speaking, the fewer Euros you have at your table, the better it's going to be. Here we have like a really easy range bet with the king, queen, with the backdoors, etc. Get called. He snap called the flop. We're going to big bet this turn as a bluff and probably give up rivers. Snap calls again. We have two options here. That's all in or give up. Snap called twice, so I don't like bluffing river bricks after overbetting turns. And we win against 10-6, which is nice. Didn't check back because we had showdown value. We checked back because I was just giving the fuck up. So quite pleased with that outcome. Obviously, this player can be tagged as green. Okay, we're going to start winding this up now. Global sit out next blind. I think we've booked a small win. I think actually on the video we probably lost a little bit, but on the session we probably won a little bit because of the two pots we won before I started recording. Jack 7-6. So we have like a category 3 or a category 4 hand here. I think because it's just got really poor draws, it's going to be category 4. Here on this table, we have probably just a category 4 hand. Now our hand is like category 1/category 2. Where's this dude from? Ecuador. I don't know a lot about. I haven't got a strong opinion on Ecuadorian players. We're just going to continue checking because bet will be an overbluff line here now versus 2 checks. And on the river, I think we just block, just try and get heroed by ace high, etc. We'll do the tally at the end. I started this video with exactly $180 in my account because I deposited to play, and we'll do the tally at the end. Convert to dollars now. Roughly, we're going to 30, 78, 81, 111, 115, 145. So if we have more than $35 on the main lobby, we've made a profit. We have $58, so we've made a, was it just 180 I deposited? I think it was. Was it 180? I can't remember. I'll pause the video and check. Yeah, so we've made $13. I did deposit the 180. So we've made $13, which is nice. Made a video and actually made a small profit. And we're nearly done. Got one more hand to play on this top left table. And yeah, no more spam. I'm not going to be asking you to join anything or do anything, except if you have enjoyed the video, leave a like and leave a comment, because I'd very much appreciate that. And I ask people to share videos, they never do, and frankly I don't fucking blame them. I wouldn't share this either, but you know, if for some reason you're feeling particularly charitable and you want to share it, I'd appreciate it. But we're out of here now. I need a poo, and then I need to go and pick my mate up for a couple of hours. So yes, catch you all with another video sometime soon. Take care and bye bye for now.